Hi there, this is Eugene Wong. I'm one of the faculty in the Department of Child, Adolescent, and Family Studies. Okay. In this PowerPoint presentation, we'll have the chance to talk a little bit about school psychology and school counseling as professional options that you might be interested in and want to pursue after you finish your undergraduate degree. Besides being a faculty in the department, I'm also a licensed psychologist in the state of California. And for me, most of my work in that setting focuses on evaluating children, okay, who are struggling in school for some reason. Maybe a child is struggling because there are attention problems and it's really hard for them to focus on school and to get schoolwork done. Or maybe a child has a learning disorder, and that learning disorder makes it difficult for them to do reading, writing, and math. And maybe for other children, there could be some kind of social, emotional, or perhaps family related concern that impacts how they're doing in school or whether they attend school on a regular basis or not. So for me, I evaluate why a student is struggling in school and help other school personnel to figure out how to develop interventions and what interventions to put into place to support this kiddo so that they come to school, do well in school, and enjoy the regular activities that they would have on a daily basis. Those kinds of things are very much like what a school psychologist might do. Okay? On the other hand, school counselors, though they are related to school psychologists, have a different role. Okay? School counselors typically don't do the evaluations of children. Instead, they are the ones who are providing the actual accommodations and interventions and having conversations with children who might be struggling in school. So in this video, we'll talk a little bit about both of these career options, as there are lots of you who, as you go through this major, become interested in either one or both of these opportunities. And it's important for you to know a little bit about them and also to, of course, answer your questions about either or both of these options. As a child, adolescent, and family studies major, okay, your coursework will focus on children's development, both typical and atypical, in core developmental content areas like physical development, cognitive development, social and emotional development. This coursework aligns particularly well with both school psychology and school counseling. In particular, there are a couple of classes that are especially well aligned with these professional options. Those classes are CAFS 4450 and CAFS 3306 or 3350. All majors take CAFS 4450, which is the child assessment course. That course focuses on how we evaluate children who may have atypical developmental concerns. Okay, depending upon which concentration you've declared, you will either take CAFS 3306 or 3350. If you're in the early childhood development concentration, it's the 3306 class that you'll complete. On the other hand, if you're in the child adolescent concentration, you'll be completing the 3350 class. Both classes focus on exceptional children. One is just geared more for younger children, while the other, 3350, is geared for more school age and adolescents. Use the link in this slide, okay, to learn a little bit more about what a typical school psychologist day is like in the school setting. If for some reason the link is not working, just copy and paste it into a browser and it should take you to a YouTube video. So if school psych is of interest to you, okay, it's important for you to know, okay, that it's going to require a graduate degree in order to be a school psychologist in the public K-12 system. Okay, so after you've completed the bachelor's degree in child, adolescent, and family studies, okay, you'll be going on to a graduate program in which you'll earn a master's degree and also what is called a PPS credential in school psychology. PPS stands for Pupil Personnel Services Credential, okay, PPS. That is, in essence, the license that allows you to work within the public K-12 system. Now, there's really two paths by which you can eventually get to that PPS credential. On the left, you see one path in which you first obtain an MA degree in something like psychology or educational psychology or even school psychology. Then you obtain your PPS credential, potentially in the same program or in a different program. Alternatively, there are now what are called EDS programs. EDS stands for Education Specialists. This is also a master's degree program, but what it does is to combine the master's degree and the PPS for school psychology into one program. So instead of attending two separate programs, the EDS allows you to obtain the master's degree and the PPS credential all in one. So of the two options, of course, the EDS option is the more viable option, is the better option because both the master's degree and the PPS credential is combined into one graduate experience. The first option on the left-hand side exists because there are people who may already hold a master's degree in psychology or educational psychology, and now they want to obtain the PPS, so they're able to use that option on the left as a way to get to the PPS credential and still be a school psychologist. But for most of you, if not all of you, as a child, adolescent, and family studies major, you will not have your master's degree yet. So it makes the most sense that upon completing your bachelor's degree, you're going directly into the EDS program, the path on the right-hand side, so that you can ultimately become a school psychologist, but you're attending one program in which you will earn the master's degree and the PPS credential. For those of you who are interested in school counseling, you are still in the ideal undergraduate degree that leads to school counseling. Remember, school counseling is different than school psychology, even though the two often gets mixed up. School counselors do not do assessment and evaluation in terms of identifying learning-related challenges that then are addressed in the school setting. School counselors, for the most part, are really involved on the intervention and program support side, where they're working directly with students who need academic and or personal support in order to do well in school. So usually those children have already been evaluated by the school psychologist. It is now the school counselor who is working with this particular child and trying to ensure that the child has everything that they need in order to do well in school. School counselors also would be doing things like working with students in groups, to develop social skills. Or maybe there is a bully on campus and the school counselor works with the bully to try to enhance their social skills and peer interaction skills so that they interact with their peers in an appropriate way as opposed to in an aggressive way. So when you think about school counseling, think of them as a counselor that doesn't do their work in a private practice setting, but instead does their work in the school setting during the school day. In this slide and the next, you'll find some more information about the school counselor provided by the American School Counselor Association. Keep in mind, as you look at this and read this information, that a school counselor, like a school psychologist, is also required to have a master's degree and a PPS credential. Their PPS credential will be in school counseling, not school psychology, but the idea is the same. This credential is like a license that allows an individual to work in the public K-12 setting and provide direct services to children. We'll talk more about the grad school requirements in a future slide. Use this link, okay, to get a sense of what a school counselor's day is typically like. As is the case with the first video, if for some reason this link doesn't work or you can't click on it and make it go to the video, just copy and paste this link into a browser and it should take you to a YouTube video. So as we talked about in a previous slide, if you are interested in being a school counselor, again, you will need a master's degree beyond your bachelor's in child, adolescent, and family studies. So the degree that you'll be doing is a school counseling degree, okay, that usually is offered within the College of Education at a university. Okay? And just like school psychology, you'll also need that PPS credential, the Pupil Personnel Services credential. In this case, the PPS is in school counseling, not school psychology, as we had talked about earlier for school psychologists. But the idea is the same. Okay? The credential is, in essence, the license that allows the professional to work in the public K-12 setting, providing services and support to students or groups of students for social needs, emotional needs, academic needs, whatever the case may be. And usually school counselors are seeing kiddos who have been evaluated by school psychologists or who otherwise have been identified by school staff as needing support. In this last slide, I'll leave you with some takeaways for both the school psychologist and the school counselor career options. I hope that this PowerPoint presentation has been informative and valuable for you, but you're welcome to ask additional questions. You can always email me at ewong@csusb.edu, and we can set up a time to meet, or of course, during the fall and spring semesters, I'll have regularly scheduled office hours, and you're welcome to stop by during the office hours, and we can chat about either or both of these career options. Again, I hope this has been informative and valuable for you, and for those of you that are interested in working directly with children in a school setting, either the school psychologist or the school counselor options may be an ideal fit to your professional aspirations.